Wrap is brought to you by Bud Light, FlyLady.net, Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Ravens247.com, the original Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
And welcome in to another installment of the Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV and the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the Eastern Shore, 93.5 The Beach. We are broadcasting from the Ravens Room here at the Blue Ox, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City with our friends, Ravens Roost 44. Give yourselves a hand. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors, the original Green Turtle, of course, the fine folks here at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, Bud Light, FlyLady.net, the Ocean City Golf Club, G&G Outfitters, Ravens247.com, the Comfort Inn Gold Coast, and our friends at JCTickets.net. It is week number 15 of the NFL, week number 14 for the Baltimore Ravens, your 10-3 AFC North Division leading Baltimore Ravens once again. Coming up, we're going to recap the 24-10 victory over Indianapolis. We'll give our grades, talk news and notes. Also, we'll preview the upcoming game against the San Diego Chargers. I'm Mike Bradley, formerly of B101.7, now 105.7 The Fan of Baltimore. To my left, former Baltimore Colt All-Pro safety Bruce Lair. Bruce, welcome back.
Thank you, Michael. Good to be here, baby. Good to be here.
Former co-host of the Stallion Sports Show, now a host of a bazillion golf shows all over the East Coast, and OC local Bobby Vermillion. Bobby, welcome back.
Good to be back.
And former Lehigh College player, OC local as well, and entrepreneur John Gehrig.
And a huge Ray Rice
Still
fan.
not on Ray Rice's Christmas podcast.
And a huge Ray Rice fan.
Well, guys, the Ravens...
a huge conditioning fan.
You are going to be his condition coach during the offseason. That's
We'll have plenty of
that's
that.
some breaking news that we'll have here. But guys, the 24-10 victory over the Colts. It was, Indianapolis. I got to watch myself on that. Indianapolis. But Bruce, before we kind of break it down a little bit, I got to ask you though, being a former Baltimore Colt, obviously you being at the game on Sunday.
Right.
You know, and you've been to some of these games before, obviously, but what goes through your mind, your emotions when the Ravens play Indianapolis?
Truly, the only thing I truly miss is the fact that we were together for such a long time in Baltimore with my teammates and friends that I became and got to be very close with. And the end of the day is just looking at the uniform. I mean, you know, looking at the helmet, the blue and white and all that stuff. I mean, that shades you a little bit.
Sure.
But understanding after all this time, it's a situation that Bob Irsay and his family took the team because, for whatever reason, they had a better deal. They took it to Indianapolis. And then the business side of it, as sad as it may be, and we all don't like to think about this or talk about this, but none of these franchises belong to us. You know, the Baltimore Ravens do not belong to Baltimore, Maryland. They belong to Steve Bisciotti and 345 Park Avenue. And that goes with every team in the league. And that's a sad thing because, you know, you used to really think, this is our team, this is us. The Green Bay Packers could never be moved from Green Bay. But maybe that's the only one that
That's
can.
the only one probably.
Probably the only one that
Because
can.
of the public ownership.
But everybody else can be picked up and moved. And isn't that strikingly weird?
Yet we live our whole lives for 6 months for these guys that don't even know who we are or care about us.
It's predetermined where we're going to be every Sunday based on the game time as what we're doing. You know, I mean, our whole lives revolve around that. And you know, guys, and I know many of the audience here, Ravens Roost 44, longtime former Colts fans and suffered 12 years without a team. You know, the one thing I can say, though, about it, and granted, I was only 3.5 when they left, so obviously I didn't understand it as much. Sorry about that. But
At least he got the half in there.
right, yeah.
It was 3.5.
But, you know, I think the deal is, though, even though we had to suffer for 12 years and losing the Colts and all that, when you look at where we were with Bob Irsay to where we are today with Steve Bisciotti, one of the best owners, one of the best organizations in football, Bobby, you know, in a way we suffered, but look what we have now. And I think in a way it was worth it because did you want Bob Irsay for another 10 years? You know?
Yeah, well,
you know, no.
he can speak to that. You know,
We're righted the ship, you know, so to speak.
I think you're right. Everything works out for the best. And for Ravens fans, for Baltimore sports fans, I think that's definitely a true statement when you look at the Ravens now. And if you look across the way, and sometimes when you go to the Ravens games and you look at Camden Yards, it's almost a little depressing because we have such a good feeling and a good atmosphere at M&T Bank Stadium with the Ravens. We're so proud to be Ravens fans. And then when you look at the Orioles, a totally different situation. I know we just went through the winter baseball meetings. Mike, I know this is probably a hot topic on Sports Talk Radio in Baltimore. But really, no news for the Orioles. I mean, we're looking to finish third or fourth again in the division. Hopefully, we can break
fifth.
Yeah, right. And hopefully, we can be above 500 for the first time in forever. So, we are blessed to be Ravens fans. Here we are, leading the division right now. Where we want to be, we control our own destiny, and we got a great owner and really a great general manager and great coaching staff. So the only thing we got to do is make sure John's happy with Ray Rice and keep him in shape. Right?
We've got about 45 seconds left in this segment, so we won't break down the game yet. But did anyone notice, though? I mean, I don't know. I know, Bruce, you were at the game. I was at the game. Did you notice, though, for the first time on the scoreboard, it did say Colts and not Indy? I don't know if that was, I don't know what was behind that, if anybody noticed that, but,
It's time to put it behind us. I mean,
No,
a whole
maybe
generation of fans don't
I'm
even
not
know.
I'm not gonna be the one to say that, but,
It's time. I mean, get
Far be it
over
over,
it.
far be it
I
from
mean,
me.
we're the Ravens. We have, like Bobby said, I mean, we have a great team to cheer for. We don't need to live in the past.
All right, well, we'll get into it. 24-10, the Ravens over Indianapolis. We'll break it down next on the Ravens Wrap Show. Keep it here.
Are you embarrassed to invite people to your home to watch your favorite football team? Well, don't worry, because you're not alone. FlyLady.net is the support you need. Join us and our more than 600,000 members and learn how to crush the clutter and game plan your way through routines that'll help you organize your home and your life. Tackle clutter and get your home game day ready with FlyLady.net.
G&G Outfitters, Inc. is a premier full-service in-house provider of branded merchandise and marketing solutions. With over 20 years of proven experience, G&G continues to successfully produce branded merchandise for some of the world's leading corporations, associations, and teams. From start to finish, G&G Outfitters is your single-source, one-stop partner for promotional products, logoed apparel, and all of your branded needs. For more info on the services and capabilities of G&G, visit ggoutfitters.com or call 301-731-2282.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
What's going on? We're giving Matt the NFL experience of a high-pressure field goal.
Look out! It's terrible, man!
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you can win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Hey, it gets easier. Really? No.
And welcome back in. It is the Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio 93.5 The Beach. Mike Bradley, Bruce Laird, Bobby Vermillion, and John Garrick on the panel this week. The Ravens 24-10 winners. They maintain possession of first place in the AFC North. And guys, let's break this game down a little bit. The Colts coming in were a team that certainly defensively they've had their issues this year on both sides of it, in the run and the pass. The Ravens, I think, as we talked about, just coming out, if they did their own thing, Bruce, and stayed balanced, that they would win the football game. And again, when you take a look at it, a really good day for Joe Flacco in the passing game, 23 of 31, and Ray Rice 26 for 103. Pretty balanced, I'd say, all in all, with at the end of the day.
No question about it. And whatever the score was, 24-3, 24-10, 48-3, no matter what, we got out of there with the win. But understand something. This is an Indianapolis team that had lost two starting linebackers. Their entire secondary, there wasn't a starter left in their entire secondary, but the offense was okay. The offense had the offensive line, although mixed up a little bit with an injury here and there. Saturday's been there, and Clark was back. You had Reggie Wayne, Pierre Garçon.
They definitely had some
players,
there, yeah.
But you watch this league overall, guys. I'm going to throw this to you guys. When you watch this league and you realize that you don't have a quarterback. Obviously, Joe Orlinski, he couldn't get things done. When you don't have a quarterback, That's what you get. That's the kind of football you get nowadays.
It's a great question, Bruce. Is it worth building your franchise around one player like a Peyton Manning? As great as he is, we're seeing on the other side of the ball, as great as Ray Lewis is, we've certainly missed Ray, but not obviously to the length of what the Indianapolis Colts miss Peyton Manning. Now, we know the quarterback's the most important position on the team, no doubt. But to be that bad after being so good for so long, it's
11 years in a row, playoffs.
And now you can't win one football game.
Correct.
And you spoke about this a little bit earlier, before the show. Did it seem to you? Has it seemed to you like a lot of these guys have just quit on the Indianapolis Colts?
Oh, when I watched this game carefully, sitting there in the press box, I just realized they weren't coming off the ball. The offense, defensive line. This game was literally over in the first 15 minutes. It was, and then you just get there. You get to the point where I've lost in my career. I've had terrible years. You've had that situation. But you still have your pride. You're still a professional player, and I think these guys have absolutely just thrown in the towel.
Even one of the best players, in recent years, Reggie Wayne, the true pro. He's running out of bounds. He's just running his route. Just runs right out of bounds. I mean,
he boinked a couple.
Yeah, he had a hell of a grab, but it was out of bounds. I mean, so it's.
And I think for Bill Polian, guys, it's a true question of character. I mean, this is when your professionalism really gets tested in a situation in which they are. Obviously, it's extreme, but to me, it tells me a lot about who I want on my team going forward. I think a situation like this, obviously, it's bad when you lose a quarterback, but you kind of know what character guys, I should say, you have, and what character guys you don't. And outside of maybe Dwight Freeney and maybe a handful of other guys, yeah, you're right. Those guys have quit.
But to me, we had two coaches lose their job this week in Kansas City and Miami, and I think one of the biggest things a coach can do is get his team ready to play every week. There's a 16-game league, and you play 16 games in a year. It's not too much to ask the professional athlete to play hard for 16 games. And right now, looking at the Colts team, Jim Caldwell's not doing that. So I think Polian and Irsay got to take a good look at his job because Springer did a great job in Miami.
Yeah, those guys didn't quit.
They didn't quit. They were still playing.
They go out and get back to basics and start doing it. They win 3 in a row or 4 in a row, and then he loses bad and he's fired. Yeah. Well, that's all about making sure they can talk to the new gurus, not the new gurus, the Cowers, the Grudens, and everybody else is left out there. They're going to get a miracle worker, and that isn't going to happen in this league nowadays. I don't care who you are.
I tell you, though, Bobby, I'd take the Peyton Manning and all in on Peyton Manning and the 11 years they've had, not under 10 wins. I mean, how many times were they going 13-0? They were 13-0 a couple times in that stretch.
It's a great run.
It was really great. I'd take the run. And
as a fan, how can you not take the run?
Talk about Ravens' dominance in this game, guys. The Ravens 12 more first downs. They were 7 of 13 on third down. They had 13 more offensive plays. Almost 200 yards more offense, about 100 yards more rushing the ball, or 96 more, and then 13 more minutes of time of possession. Again, I don't think the score was indicative necessarily. You have a late touchdown against backups, not indicative of how dominating the performance was. But I thought, guys, we talk about that being key, though, is that you get up on these teams early, and the Ravens' first possession, they scored a touchdown. Joe Flacco to Torrey Smith, great. He threw it before he cut. Made the cut. Good job.
Who came out of the game right then? Who touched the ball 5 times, got it down to the 8, and said,
we are not going down that road. We're not going down that road.
Bring in the 80-year-old guy to come in for me. We're in the gold zone here.
John and Bobby, all I got was the text at the end of the game with 20 million Americans so pissed off that they didn't cover.
I mean,
the last play of the game, 17
People are saying it's a meaningless touchdown.
Oh, my God.
Not to some, who had a lot of money invested in it. Guys, just real quickly as we wrap up the segment, Anquan Bolden had 5 catches. Torrey Smith. Ray Rice was 6. He had a big game. Dennis Pitta had a touchdown. Nice throw. We'll talk about that from Joe. And, again, just a very solid performance. 37 runs to 31 passes. Pretty much as balanced as you're going to get. And the Ravens take care of business again with teams hot on their heels like Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. We'll talk more about it coming up. The Ravens Wrap Show on Comcast Beach TV and 93.5 The Beach.
Ravens Wrap is brought to you by Bud Light, FlyLady.net, Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Ravens247.com, the original Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.